This morning, we talk about politics, governance, the choice of the people, and maybe godfatherism, and political structure in a way that has gotten many Nigerians talking, and that has to do with what is happening in River State, where the former state governor, um, Minister Wike, who is now a minister of the FCT, has been going around, telling everybody that here's to listen, that, whatever is happening in River State, everybody should hands up. Agreement is agreement. And he has always been saying that. There is a history, this feud between him and Sim Fubara. And of course, that got Sim Fubara suspended because of the back and forth of the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, with the State House of Assembly members. And of course, that the generator, the president had to call for a state of emergency 6 months after Sim Fubara and the House members were returned. But then one would think maybe there's an agreement or everything has died down. But then it seems it's just the beginning of another feud. And the center are no longer hold again now. And the minister has, by the way, the Sim Fubara has made his way to the APC, talked about the PDP couldn't protect him when he needed them most, and he's now of the APC, standing firmly on the mandate of Mr. President. And, the minister, Nyesom Wike, has been moving around to say, irrespective of whoever is standing on any mandate, that they were not standing 2, 3 years ago, they are just standing on their own, and it wouldn't stop whatever the people, his people, have in mind. And he has been very categorical in the last 3 days, say they made a mistake in 2023. He and his people will not make that mistake again, going from local government to local government to tell the people, yes, he realized he has made a mistake, and of course, he's not going to make that mistake again. And Sim Fubara seems to be singing other song as well and telling everybody that cares to know he has been helped by Shiwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He will be loyal to him. He's of the APC, and nobody should go through corners. In fact, there was a subtle jab he threw when he said, those that are going to the media should keep on going to the media laughing. He knows that whenever they go back, they are crying. And so, subtle jabs here and there. There is the dimension of the APC secretariat, especially the national secretary of the party, Ajibola Bashir, who has waded into the matter and is trying to reiterate that the leader of a party in a state is the state governor, and nobody should undermine that. It is a policy and it's a convention in the APC, on which Minister Wike answered him and said, please stay off, be preoccupied in your Osun state. And he even said, whatever happened in Osun state, you didn't know what they did. In fact, you are just enjoying. Don't dabble into the matters of River State. And we just allow you to just have some snippets of these this statement from these people. Take a look.
We made. So the mistake we made, we want to correct it. And we'll correct it with your support. And that's why we say, before we come back to that one, let's come first and thank you for the one you did. I thank you. I thank you. Happy New Year. This year will be better than last year. Luckily, we have a very vibrant young man. If it's a Uche said, there's no materialization. There's no materialization. We are here. If there's anything you don't like, pass it through your leader, Chibudom. He will tell us. And we'll call the council chairman. This is the way it's to be done. That is unity. Solomon Bob, we should not be preaching unity without practicing it. Leadership.
Most of the projects that are being commissioned, they are coming for their balance payment, and it's running in millions and billions. I've said I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk because I am part of that system. But when you keep pushing me to talk, I will say it so that they will see the nyash of the fowl.
Well, interesting analogy there from the state governor, and it is what it is. We have a public affairs analyst with us, actually, who will make a sense of what is going on in River State which, if you call it the rivers of drama, you are right. Rivers of confusion, rivers of whatever it is, but certainly not of progress, whatever we are seeing at this time. Comrade Ayo Ologun is a media personality, public and policy affairs analyst as well. Thank you, Comrade, for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
please, you could do well with the volume a little so I can hear you better.
Okay, all right. Now, what do you make of these, the resurgence of political jibes here and there, alignment, somebody trying to say, you are not part of us, somebody trying to say, no, I'm the leader here, and the National Secretariat of the newfound party of the governor saying, a leader is the governor of a state, and the man that is trying to superintend the affairs, that is Minister Wike, saying, there is a structure. APC Secretariat to Ajibalo Bashiro, don't be a meddlesome interloper. And the man replying to say, you can't accuse me of undue interference. I am a national officer of this party. In fact, he superintends the Secretariat Affairs of that party. We know what is happening in our party. You are not a member of our party. In fact, if actually there is anything you have to do, go and resign your membership of the cabinet. Let APC handle APC affairs. What's going on here, Mr. Ologun?
Well, whatever is happening in Rivers is what dominated the discourse politically last year. That seems to be the biggest political highlight among all political incidences and events of 2025. And it is funny that we are starting the year 2026 with a resurgence of the hostilities that made that event the high point of political discourse in the year 2025. I must say it is quite unfortunate because my concern has always been the people's place in all of these shenanigans that politicians are playing out. Look, 4 things are playing out for me in Rivers. 1 is the lack of governance. 2 is issue of politics. 3 is party supremacy. 4 is the 2027 election. And let's take it one by one, and if time permits us. In all of this now, you hear Wike talking from one local government to the other. You hear Fubara trying to give a response, saying that if he talks, you will see the nyash of the fowl. And you wonder, in all of this discourse, where is the people's welfare mentioned? Where is the people's well-being mentioned? Where is the impacting of governance or impacting of democratic rewards mentioned in all of this? It's about the ego of one man against another. And the people are suffering for it. The man elected as governor of the state, that is Fubara, is busy jumping from one fellow governor to another, seeking their endorsement, seeking their love, seeking their acceptance. He's almost every day seen around the filler, attending to 1 or 2 issues, living beside the real art of governance, the reason for which he was elected as governor, irrespective of the means through which he became the governor. And I'm worried that politicians forget that what makes them the office occupier or holder is the mandate of the people. So if in all you are doing, the people are taking the back seat, you are simply cheating the people, you are simply making life unbearable for the people, while you are servicing your own ego and interests. That's number 1. Number 2 is the issue of supremacy, power play in Rivers. And of course, the power play is not between any other person than Wike, the minister of the FCT, and of course, Fubara as the governor of Rivers State. And it's funny, just last night, I stumbled on a video, a throwback video of a Wike when he was being interviewed by one of the major channels in the country in the days of Ambody. And the interviewer asked him, what would be your advice to an Ambody at then? And he said, look, he will advise somebody to stand against imposition of godfatherism. He was so bold that such that was happening in Lagos was never going to happen in Rivers. But you say what they say, that when men do not fear to become what they criticize, such men lack honor. For me, my greatest fear in life is becoming what I criticize. So when I see a man like Wike, a couple of years ago, standing against Godfatherism, calling Tinubu all kind of names, encouraging somebody to stand firm and fight Godfatherism. And just about 8-10 years after, he's now the one trying to become a god in quotes now. Then you begin to assess and conclude in your mind as individuals the kind of a man that is. For me, that's a man that lacks integrity. Wike should not forget that he's not God. There was a river state before him. There was a river state with him. There will be a river state after him. So when a man begins to see a whole state as a tool in his hand with which he can do what he likes, such a person is arrogating the place of God to himself. And of course, whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, you know what comes with equating yourself with God. Wike is becoming a demigod. And there is no, you should realize that there's no life champion. The best you can be is a current champion. If nobody did it to him, why is he trying to do it to another person? I understand that the man Fubara is a making of Wike. Without the Wike, there would not have been a Fubara, no doubt. Nobody knew a Fubara before a Wike brought him up from nowhere as accountant of the state and imposed him on the party, the PDP back men, and then he became governor. And even when the FC was trying to get at him, he used the power of immunity to keep him in the government. And all of these things we know. But that does not make Wike a god, because such tendency always has an expiry date. And he must also not forget that whatever stature he attributes to himself, no doubt, as it stands today, Wike controls the structure of politics in Rivers State, whether in the PDP or in the APC. But he must not forget that he is primarily not a member of the APC. And that is the advantage that the Fubara is having against him at the moment. And that is why the likes of SRJ, Ajibola Bashiru, can say the kind of words he said to Wike. Wike should realize that he's not a member of the APC. And you cannot be a beneficiary or meddle in the affairs of a party where you are not even a member, let alone a leader. So if you ask who a Wike is in APC, he's simply a meddlum interloper. So if he's talking about Fubara not getting tickets in PDP, well, Fubara is not a candidate, he's not a member of the PDP any longer. He's not a member of the APC. So what right, what power does a Wike hold or have to determine who gets the ticket of the APC? A party that he officially, please mark the word officially, does not belong to. So if the like of NRJ are saying the things they are saying to him, they are justified, because he cannot come to dictate to them in their party when he's not even a member of the party, let alone a leader of the party. He must realize, I'm talking about Wike now, that he is primarily the friend of the president. He is primarily a benefactor of the president. He is primarily an appointee of Mr. President. Anything other than that is an awesome aggregation of power. He is not a member of the APC. So he should limit himself to the benefits accruable to him by his relationship with the president. Whatever he has done for the president, which makes him say agreement, well, that's between them. Of course, some other table agreements and concessions must have been made, maybe, and maybe not. Even with the resources of Rivers State when he was governor, that is between them. But he must know that that is between himself and Mr. President. And anything other than that is becoming a meddlum interloper, in the affairs of the APC. That's number two. Number three, see, my fear for the APC is that they are becoming a party of lawlessness. They are becoming a party where rule of law or their own rules don't hold sway. And I'm afraid that that might begin to lead to their deterioration, because this was the way the PDP started. When some individuals began to make themselves so powerful within the party that the party's law do not even apply to them. If APC continues in that track too, they might just be heading for their own downfall prior or after the 2027 election. A party must be supreme in its rules. And this is the time to stand firm. And I mean to stand firm. And I hope sincerely that Mr. President will not, in the name of the love for Wike or the benefit accruable which he wants to share with Wike, begin to look down on the rules guiding the APC as a party. The Mr. President needs to, I'm not saying the presidency, Mr. President needs to call Wike down and talk some sense into him, with due respect for his age and for his office. Because he must realize that he is Wike, an appointee of Mr. President, and not a Wike, a leader of the party called APC. They are two different things. That is why an SRJ can tell him that, look, you should go and resign from the cabinet of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a minister and join the APC if you want to play party politics. Because you cannot be a decider in your own matter. You cannot be a judge in your own matter. So as much as I understand that Wike wants to show that he needs to reap where he sowed, as much as I want to understand that he wants to place demand for the roles he played in the emergence of Mr. President as president in 2003, he must realize that there is a limitation to the use of such power. But unfortunately, now to the politics in Rivers again, it's unfortunate that even those that claim to have defected to the APC as a party, that's talking about the local government council chairman, members of the House of Assembly, are not even loyal to their own party, which they have joined. They are not even loyal to the governor of the state, who by the laws, by the rules of the APC, is the leader of the party. How can you be a member of a party and be loyal to a non-party person? Wike is not a member of their party. As it stands today, Wike is not a member of the APC. So how can you be an appointee of the APC, or you are a main card-carrying member of the APC by the virtue of your defection, and still be taking orders from someone who is not a member of your own party? That shows that a lot of political reordering needs to be done in Rivers. A lot of decimation needs to be done in Rivers. And majorly, this falls on the laps of Mr. President to do the needful.
All right, Mr. Ologun, you've really done an overview analysis of the Rivers issue. But so that we do not lose sight of some of the some of the deeper problems, in this. On Vanguard newspaper, this particular report, I'm going to just take in part here. However, in his remarks, Onwuche thanked Wike for the numerous projects he has attracted to Ahwada and commended him for the sacrifice he made on the instructions to support Bola Ahmed Tinubu and elect the Rivers State governor. I just wanted to talk about this on the quality of people, or the quality of our governors, of our politics in Nigeria of today. Instructing people, voters now, what's the current psychological state of Nigerians where you have people, politicians, instructing that you vote for this and do not vote for that? Where are we currently? And what exactly is happening to our political structure? How do we get out of this?
You have raised two issues with that question, and I think I will try to address the two issues quickly. Number one is the quality of leadership, our leadership recruitment process. Look, when you listen to a man like that, Onwuche, I think he's the speaker, if I'm not wrong, speaking in such manner, in glowing tribute to a Wike, it tells you that those that we call leaders, and this is not limited to Rivers State alone, those that we call leaders or those that emerge leaders, their emergence process is worrisome. Because most of the time, people get into office by another individual and picking them, not for the qualities that they have, not for the experience that they have, not for their capacity, but for the loyalty, and put them in public office, even without capacity. That's, for me, is worrisome. Our leadership recruitment process, I've said this again and again, that we don't have one. We don't have a leadership recruitment process in Nigeria. It's just about you, whether you are dumb, whether you have anything to offer or not. Just be consistently loyal to one man, hoping that one day door will open and he will not have any other choice than to pick you, to put you into that office, irrespective of your capacity to deliver in that position. That is worrisome. And I think it is high time that we revisit our leadership recruitment process so that we don't end up having lackeys as political appointees. We don't end up having lackeys as public office holders who do not even know or have an understanding of the seats that they occupy, let alone know how to deliver to the people the dividends of the office they occupy. That's number one. Number two is how we have sunk so low that politicians are dishing out orders, in quote now, to electorates on who to vote for and who not to vote for. Look, it is not, of course, it has been said again and again, that poverty has been weaponized by the political class in Nigeria. Totally, absolutely. Poverty has been weaponized. So it is easy for a man who pays the school fees of his constituents, who puts food on their table, who chooses to appoint somebody in their family, the list of the persons that have capacity in their family is that picked to become local government chairman, or to become a councillor, or to become a special assistant or a special advisor. And all of a sudden, it becomes the breadwinner of the family. So when such happens, politicians have the capacity, all of a sudden, albeit illegally, albeit unduly, to dictate to electorates what they have to do, because the electorate knows that their survival is based on the goodwill of such a politician. And that is why it is easy at the time of election to say, oh, we'll follow our leader. Oh, we'll go where this person says we should go. They are not doing what that person asks them to do because that person deserves to be listened to. They are not doing it because the person has shown over time the capacity for governance delivery, but because their livelihood, their survival is attached and attached to that individual. Then the power of dictation on who to vote for or who not to vote for automatically belongs to that person, because prior that election, post that election, survival of such individuals or the people in that community rest on the hands and on the hand of such a politician. It's the newest law, but it's unfortunately our reality.
Sad reality there, if you ask me. And, you know, for Minister Wike, when he told the National Secretary of the APC, Ajibola Bashir, to say, please mind your business, don't interfere in what is happening in River State. Some have said, Ajibola Bashir himself responded and said, you know, he's the National Secretary of the party, and he's only talking about APC affairs. The leader of a party in a state is the governor. And he's talking, you are not our member. Okay, and the Rivers, some will say that River State has its own peculiarity when Mr. Wike is of the PDP and, of course, controlling everybody. You said it earlier, that even those guys that said they are defected to the APC, even though we can't say where they have been issued card or any of those things, have not really been doing APC things. Their allegiance is still to Mr. Wike. And we talked, so is this really godfatherism? You know, some will say he's everywhere. He's everywhere in Nigerian politics. Maybe the level of the dictation of the so-called godfathers is what has changed here. And the video you talked about was years ago, and I allow you to see it again, and especially Nigerians, when Minister Wike was asked about the situation of the former former Lagos governor, Akinwumi Ambode, and this is what he had to say.
What advice would you give to your brother governor in Lagos State, Akinwumi Ambode, giving his rift with his political godfather?
I will tell him to resist it. If it is correct, I will say to resist it. Godfatherism cannot work in River State. It will never work.
All right, and of course, that was it, you know, just to juggle the memory. But do you see this as the same context? Or maybe some would say, maybe he was right, it was a different context. Or really, Minister Wike has become what he always criticized. Because, in fact, I saw a report recently, like a compendium of a list of people he has been in the same boat before that fell out. And he has always been talking about betrayal, and those persons listed, from Celestine Omeya to Rotimi Amechi to Ordili to almost everybody. The latest is the governor of Oyo State. Is this really about godfatherism for Minister Wike, or somebody who is just power conscious? I don't want to say power drunk.
Well, for me, you again has also raised two very important issues. And let me share my insight into this too. First is a lot of Nigerians seem not to understand the politics playing off even at the National Secretariat of the APC. And look at the statement of an SRJ, against Wike a couple of days ago and quickly relate it with what the national chairman of the party said yesterday, which has been given viral sharing. He said in what's yesterday, which has gone viral, that no governor controls APC. I don't know if you saw that report. If
Mr. Ologun,
now carefully.
Our producer said we must go on a break right now. Please permit us. We'll pick you from there immediately.